In a study done by Oxfam, they found that 62 of the world's richest people had as much wealth as the bottom 50% of the rest of the world. The world we live is driven by capitalism. It currently dominates the world and its impact is felt by all. Whether it's the factory worker in Bangladesh making $60 a month, a taxi cab driver losing their livelihood to Uber, or a Wall Street banker being awarded billions for bad debts. It's all brought to you by the system that is defended as the best of the worst systems. Should we believe such statements? Can we really accept the massive disparity in wealth, where 62 of the world's richest people had as much wealth as the bottom 50%, or is there an alternative? In this video, we will explore the alternative, the Islamic economical system. For centuries, the Islamic civilization made great strides in the sphere in science and technology. However, this technical progress was ultimately supported by the resilient economic system. In this series of videos, I am going to cover briefly the main differences between Islamic economic system and capitalism. It is an extensive topic which cannot be addressed in depth in one video, so links are provided to get more in-depth information. Within capitalism, the economical problem is seen as unlimited wants and limited resources. This means that an individual wishes to have money, luxurious cars, a big house, the latest technology, and they keep on striving for more. According to capitalism, the solution to this problem is to increase the production as much as possible. This is the reason why economists care a lot about GDP. Islam sees the economical problem in a completely different way. It distinguishes between the needs and wants of man. Needs are provided by the state in case people are not able to afford it. These needs consist of food, shelter, clothing, and medical assistance. Wants are the other luxuries which the state is not obligated to provide, and people themselves need to work for it. Islam sees the economical problem as the distribution of wealth and not the production of it. Therefore, Islamic economists will focus on ensuring policies for distribution of wealth to ensure that everyone's basic needs are met and they are equipped with means to pursue beyond that. Capitalist countries have borders and are not obligated to support other countries where a famine or a high level of poverty is present. The nation-state structure adopted by capitalism prevents the effective sharing of wealth. Within Islam, all Muslim countries belong to one united state called Khilafah, where no borders are present and everybody is allowed to travel and live anywhere they want. If one region is in a state of poverty or famine, resources from other regions will be given to eliminate this problem. For example, the Gulf region will share its massive oil wealth with the poorest areas of the world. This is mostly not the case with capitalist countries. In capitalist states, different kinds of taxes are applied: income tax, value-added tax, road tax, property tax, and so on. For example, a couple with 5 kids will need to pay an income tax of ±30%, and on the side they have no savings. Within Islam, there is no value-added tax, income tax, property tax, or road tax. Muslims need to pay 2.5% of their unused wealth and assets, while non-Muslim male pays an amount called jizya, if he is able to pay, which in return the state provides safety, basic needs, and other public services. Amount of jizya is mostly far more less than the zakat most Muslims pay, but they are allowed to pay the same rate of zakat if they want. Current days, we know the 1% of the world population owns more than the 99% altogether. Just imagine if they pay 2.5% of their zakat of jizya. It could solve world poverty for several years. Within capitalism, any resource can be privatized, even if it is public in nature like water or oil. Multinationals can privatize oil and gas, produce electricity and sell it. Also, lakes, forests, and parks can be private properties. Some companies own railways and roads as well. These multinationals can charge excessively, which can cause people to have no savings or to end up in poverty. Within Islam, none of these resources mentioned before can be privatized, rather it's a public property. The state must administer these resources on behalf of the community, thereby preventing it from being monopolized by the wealthy elite. Money collected from these services and resources will go to the state treasury, called Beit al-Mal. Within capitalism, people save their money in banks and get a certain amount of interest money out of it. there is a lesser flow of money in the economy, which decreases economical activities, lesser jobs, and lesser businesses to start. In Islam, hoarding of wealth is not allowed. Also, interest is forbidden, so people are forced to invest their wealth in the economy. This causes for the economy to grow, create more jobs, businesses, and other economical activities. Owners of land are forced to use their land to cultivate it. If this is not done, the state can take the land away. Saving money for buying something like a car or a house is allowed because eventually the money will be used in the economy. Within capitalism, people can get loans from banks and other institutions to run a business and invest in their company. To expand the company, they go public and sell shares. The problem is if these companies go bankrupt, the shareholders will lose their shares and the assets might be taken away. But no one is responsible to pay off the debts of the company. This can go into billions of dollars lent from several institutions. People running the company might have billions of dollars in their personal bank accounts, but none of these personal accounts will be used to pay off the debts of the companies. Within Islam, every single dollar needs to be paid. Even if the person dies, his heirs are encouraged to pay it. Otherwise, after an investigation, if the state finds out that if he had the intention to pay it back, the state will do this. So if several individuals start a company and go bankrupt, they all need to pay it back accordingly. Also, to start a company with another individual, you need to know that individual personally, which is different with capitalist countries, where you can buy shares not even knowing the partner in the company or what work the company does. All partners within a company have all equal say for certain matters. Any kind of company which deals with products or services which are against the Islamic law and principles are also not allowed. For example, production of alcohol, prostitution, banks who deals with interest, etc. Because within capitalism companies can grow quite big through shares and loans, it is almost impossible for someone to start a small business and compete with these multinationals. In case this happens, big companies buy them over to eliminate their competitors, which makes them monopolies or duopolies. For example, when buying a soda drink, you will hardly find any small business selling their own make in supermarkets. This allows for these multinationals to add preservatives, high level of sugar, and other unhealthy components because there are no competitors who are selling anything healthy. Current-day multinationals have more money than nations. They have the power and the money to change laws through lobbying. Within Islam, it will be almost impossible for big multinationals to exist because there is no similar concept of stock market as in capitalist economies because of the following main reasons. Interest is prohibited. You will need to know the individual personally before starting a business with him or her. Hoarding money is not allowed, so money will be always invested or used. Within Islamic system, there will be small to middle-sized companies. The result will be increase of competition, increase of quality of the products because of multiple competitors in the market, and decrease of price of products or services. Within capitalism, if any person or company invents a technology or improves a well-known product or process, he can get a patent on it for a certain period of time. No one else can produce the same product and sell it. Companies can ask a lot of money for it even though the production cost could be extremely low. For example, pharmaceutical companies produce new medicines which can save lives, but because of the huge cost, thanks to the patent on these medicines, not everybody can afford it. In Islam, you cannot put patent on ideas or inventions. Everybody has the right to sell anything he produces, even if these are new inventions, whether it's a new technology or medicine, etc. Before 1971, US dollar was used in the economy, which was backed by gold, and all other currencies were pegged to the US dollars. In 1971, President Nixon closed the gold window, making the US dollars into a fiat currency which was backed by nothing. The Federal Reserve can effectively print as much as they want and expand the money supply. This inevitably leads to inflation, which will eventually reduce the purchasing power of the individual. That is, the money they have will simply buy less because the prices of food, shelter, and clothing keeps rising due to inflation. Within Islam, gold and silver will be used as currencies. It is illegal for the state to use fiat currency. The state can use actual gold or silver coin or issue notes that are fully convertible into gold or silver. thank you for watching this video. Please visit our website to get more in-depth info about concepts of economical and other systems of Islam.